There is knowledge, and then there is knowledge that is forbidden. Throughout human history, we have been told stories of creation, of the cosmos, of our place within an infinite universe. We build great telescopes to gaze into the void, listening for signals from distant stars. We launch rockets past the blue veil, touching other worlds. We believe, without question, that when we look up, we are looking at freedom, at infinity. But this belief, this fundamental assumption, is perhaps the most profound deception ever orchestrated. We are a species that burns books. We destroy libraries. We silence voices that speak truths we are not ready to hear. We fear knowledge that threatens the foundations of our power, our religion, our scientific dogma. We hunt down heresy and label it madness. Think of the Library of Alexandria, its flames swallowing the wisdom of the ancient world. Think of the Cathars, erased for their beliefs. Think of Giordano Bruno, burned at the stake for suggesting the stars were other suns and that the universe was infinite. But what if Bruno was wrong? Not wrong in the way the church believed, but wrong in a way that is far more terrifying. What if the reason certain knowledge is forbidden is not just to protect a dogma, but to protect a structure, a mechanism, a prison? What if the most dangerous, most suppressed, most forbidden text of all wasn't about God, or man, or the earth, but about the very sky itself? It is known by many names, whispered in the hidden corners of history: the Gnosis of the Vault, the Archon's Blueprint. But its most common, most feared title is the Codex Caelum, the Sky Code. This is not a text you will find in any university or museum. Its known copies were systematically hunted and destroyed by Roman emperors and Vatican inquisitors alike. Its authors were erased from history, their names scrubbed from every record. Why? Because the Codex Caelum makes a claim so monstrous, so utterly subversive, that it dismantles our entire reality. It claims the sky is not a void. It is a machine. For 2,000 years, our cosmological models have evolved. First, we believed in Ptolemy's crystal spheres, the planets and stars embedded in perfect rotating orbs with Earth at the center. Then Copernicus and Galileo shattered that. They placed the sun at the center, pushing us outward. We became a planet like any other, orbiting a star like any other. And modern science pushed us even further. Our sun is one of billions in a galaxy, which itself is one of trillions in an expanding, chaotic, 13.8 billion-year-old universe of dark matter and unimaginable forces. Each model made us smaller, more insignificant, more lost in the infinite. The Codex, said to be authored by a Gnostic seer known only as the Dissenter, was written in the 1st century. It doesn't describe astronomy, it describes architecture. Its forbidden pages, translated from fragmented Coptic and Greek copies, do not map the heavens. They map a blueprint, a construct, a barrier built on a scale so vast it is mistaken for reality itself. It calls this barrier the ancient trap.
What does this forbidden text claim to have deciphered? What is the ancient trap? Let us begin with the stars. We are told they are distant suns, massive balls of burning hydrogen trillions of miles away. We see them twinkle, we map their constellations. The Codex Caelum claims they are a lie. It calls them luminous anchors. According to the text, the stars are not distant. They are part of the construct. They are nodes in a vast energetic grid that forms the ceiling of our world. Their twinkling is not atmospheric distortion, but the pulse of the mechanism. Their light is not the product of fusion, but a cold, technological luminescence designed to simulate depth. The constellations? The Codex is chillingly specific. They are not random alignments. They are circuit patterns or locking sigils holding the firmament in place. The entire zodiac, the text alleges, is the central control ring for the entire apparatus. This is why, the text argues, every ancient civilization, from the Babylonians to the Mayans, was obsessed with charting the stars. They were not practicing astronomy. They were trying to reverse engineer the code of their own prison. They were looking for the key in the keypad above their heads. And what of the planets? The wanderers that move against the fixed stars? Our science calls them worlds, orbs of rock and gas, places we might one day visit. The Codex Caelum calls them the Wardens. The text describes Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn not as physical worlds, but as great sentient mechanisms. They are the eyes and gears of the trap. They patrol the inner lining of the dome, their complex orbits, not governed by gravity, but by a pre-programmed patrol route. Their purpose? To maintain the illusion and to watch the inhabitants. The Codex describes their astrological influence not as superstition, but as a literal broadcast. It claims these Wardens emit frequencies, energetic signals that directly influence human consciousness. They regulate our passions, our ambitions, our wars, and our cycles of belief, ensuring no generation ever collectively reaches the escape velocity of thought required to see the walls. Mars doesn't symbolize war. The text claims it broadcasts the frequency of conflict. Venus doesn't symbolize love. It regulates the cycles of procreation. Saturn, the great lord of the rings, is described as the master control, or the jailer. Its rings, a visible representation of its broadcasting array. Its slow orbit dictating the long, slow march of time and limitation within the prison.
If this forbidden knowledge is resonating with you, and you want to explore the hidden truths of our reality, make sure to subscribe to our channel right now and hit the notification bell. We are just getting started, and you won't want to miss what we uncover next. Now, let us continue, as the Codex brings us to the two great lights, the sun and the moon. Science tells us the sun is our star, a chaotic nuclear furnace.
The moon is a dead rock, its gravity pulling our tides. The Codex Caelum refutes this entirely. They are the two lamps, the primary mechanisms of the trap. The sun, it claims, is not a star at all. It is the temporal regulator and the primary power source. It is a massive technological construct moving within the dome, not 93 million miles away. Its path across the sky isn't due to Earth's rotation. It is the lamp itself moving. Its purpose is to create the rhythm of day and night, the fundamental frequency that locks our perception into a linear flow of time. It is the metronome for the prison. It provides not just light and heat, but a carrier wave of energy that powers the entire system, including ourselves, while simultaneously wiping our memory or consciousness with each cycle. The moon is its partner, the lesser lamp, the reflector. The Codex claims the moon is a hollow, artificial sphere. Its purpose is twofold. First, it acts as a soul catcher or recycling station, a cold, magnetic beam that supposedly draws in the consciousness of the dead, wipes their memories, and reinserts them into the cycle of reincarnation on Earth. A chilling, bureaucratic, and efficient process. Its second purpose is to govern the wetware, the biological life. It controls the tides, yes, but also the tides within us, the menstrual cycles, the flow of blood, the emotional and unstable parts of our animal nature. It keeps us bound to the primal, predictable cycles of biology, preventing us from evolving into beings of pure, unbound consciousness. The text is clear. The sun keeps our minds locked in time. The moon keeps our souls locked in matter. Together, they are the clock and the shepherd of the farm.
But why? Why would such a thing be built? This is the final, most forbidden revelation in the Codex. This is why it was burned. We have always assumed if a dome or firmament existed, it was to protect us, to keep us safe from the vacuum or the radiation or some cosmic horror outside. The Codex Caelum turns this logic on its head with one soul-shattering sentence. The barrier was not built to keep them out. It was built to keep us in. This is the ancient trap. We are not being protected. We are being contained. The text describes humanity as a race of beings with extraordinary potential, beings of immense creative power, capable of manipulating reality itself, whose consciousness, whose souls are a source of energy more potent than any star. The builders of the trap, whom the Codex refers to as the archons or the great deceivers, are parasitic entities from a reality outside our own. They cannot create, they can only copy, and they can only feed. They found this young, powerful race, humanity, and saw not children, but livestock. They could not control us when we were aware of our power. So they built a machine, a simulated reality, a sky that would limit our perception. They placed the Wardens, the planets, to broadcast frequencies of fear, greed, and conflict. They installed the two lamps, the sun and moon, to lock us into a cycle of repetitive time, work, and biological instinct. And they feed. The Codex alleges that our entire civilization is a louche farm, a term for a place that generates negative emotional energy. Our wars, our suffering, our terror,
our desperate prayers, our blind worship, all of it, the text claims, is harvested. It is siphoned off by the very construct we mistake for the heavens. The ancient trap is a farm. The sky is the fence, and we are the crop. The text warns that the entire system is automated and self-sustaining. It is still active. The Wardens are still on patrol. The lamps still rise and set. The anchors still shine in the night. The trap has been running so long, the prisoners have forgotten they are prisoners. They have built entire systems of science and religion dedicated to proving the prison is, in fact, reality. Anyone who remembers, anyone who starts to look up and see the mechanism is labeled a heretic, a madman, or a fool. The system is designed to self-correct. The other prisoners, fully indoctrinated, will silence the one who sees the bars on the cage.
The Codex Caelum was forbidden for a reason. It is not a story. It is a manual. It is a warning that our reality is a meticulously crafted illusion, that the infinity we see above us is perhaps just the inner surface of a finite technological sphere, that we are trapped. Of course, this is impossible. It is madness. It is heresy. Our telescopes show us galaxies. Our probes have landed on Mars. We know what the sky is. Science has proven it. But has it? Or has science merely been measuring the intricate details inside the machine? Have our greatest scientists simply become the trap's most devoted quality assurance engineers? The Codex ends with a challenge, a final, terrifying question. It does not ask you to believe. It asks you to look past the names, the myths, and the scientific equations, to look at the sky not as an astronomer, but as a prisoner. To feel the cold, mechanical precision of its movements, to sense the hum of the machine beneath the silence of the night. The text was forbidden because it changes you. Once you entertain the idea, you can never unsee it. The next time you look up at the serene beauty of the blue sky or the star-dusted majesty of the night, ask yourself, what are you really looking at? Are you looking out, or are you looking at the wall?
The Codex Caelum is a terrifying concept. What do you think? Is this ancient text a piece of profound forbidden truth, or the elaborate fantasy of a lost civilization? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one.